Hello and welcome to this episode of Thrive by Additive-Free Lifestyle. We are Tracy and Jo, and we're two sisters who are very passionate about asking questions and seeking information for things that make us curious. Thrive is a podcast show that will help you lower your toxic load, guide you through various stages of life, and give you permission to ask questions and seek advice on topics you may not yet understand. And we're going to blow your mind with some of the topics we talk about today.
Yeah, this show is brought to you by our program DIY Made Easy. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about toxins that wreak havoc on your body. So we thought it very relevant to offer you a 7-day discount code to our program DIY Made Easy. So if you use the code podcast213, all one word, you can receive 25% off that only $49 program, full price $49. So it's a good discount. It's only valid for 7 days as of the time that this podcast goes live. All right. So toxic load. Well, your toxic load, it's actually some of this podcast that we're recording today. We've taken snippets from it, from a presentation that we did at the doTERRA convention. And it's so relevant to this podcast today that we thought, let's take some snippets out of that.
Yeah.
All right. So your toxic load, it starts from the moment that you are conceived. That actually blew my mind. And when I thought about it, I thought, oh, yeah, that's actually, of course. Like, yes, of course it would. So not from when you are born, but actually it starts from when you are conceived. So there is a study, it was spearheaded by the Environmental Working Group, and researchers over 2 major laboratories, they found 287 dangerous chemicals and pollutants in the umbilical cord blood from 10 babies. So the study was done over 2 labs, and 287 dangerous chemicals and pollutants found in 10 babies. So what they did was they looked into where these chemicals would be coming from. So of the 287 chemicals, they found that they came from clothes, and towels and bedding that the mum would have been wearing and using. Obviously, the baby was still in the mum's tummy, so it was whatever the mum was doing. They found that these chemicals, they came from fast food packaging, so like plastics and straws and the BPA in a lot of takeaway containers, non-stick cookware such as Teflon, and that's actually a forever chemical, so it will never break down. And they found it in numerous pesticides, and that would have come from the food eaten and the environment. So do you want to share, Trace, what side effects these 287 chemicals could cause?
So what they found was 180 of them cause cancer in humans and animals. There were 217 that are toxic to the brain and the nervous system. And there were 208 that can cause birth defects or abnormal development in animal tests. Like, that is so concerning. It blows my mind that some of these products are still available. I saw something recently about straws, the paper straws, because the glue on the paper straws is actually really toxic. So in one way, we're actually better drinking out of a plastic straw. It's crazy. Obviously, we're better drinking out of no straw at all.
Metal.
But, it kind of gets worse, but I don't want to freak anybody out. But there's other stats that we want to talk around as well. So the average woman, we use around 12 personal care products a day. So when I'm talking personal care products, we're talking things just like our skincare, our makeup, our hair care, our deodorant, like our personal care products. So not the stuff that Jo's just said with clothing and things. And between those 12 products, there's around 168 different chemicals being used.
Just in 12 personal care products.
In 12.
So, okay, let's break down the 12 products. We would have deodorant. We would have the body wash, maybe shampoo and conditioner. We would have makeup. We would have moisturizing cream, a primer or a moisturizing cream on your face.
You might have a dry shampoo. You might have hairspray.
Yep.
All of those different things.
Easily 12 products just before you leave your bedroom, like your bathroom.
Yeah, it's crazy. So men use around 6 personal care products. So, slightly less than about half of us as women. But that's still around 85 chemicals that they're putting on their body a day just in personal care. And it's our teenagers, though, that are really, really concerning. So they're using around 17 personal care products a day. So they are the ones with all the extra stuff. And I definitely know that even in my daughter, there's, I don't know. She uses way more different skincare products than I ever do. And when they tested 20 teenagers' blood, scientists tested 20 teenagers' blood, they found 16 hormone altering chemicals in these teenagers' blood, in 20 teenagers' blood. So just 20 random teenagers, using stuff, 16 hormone altering chemicals, Joe. Like it, and we're wondering why our periods are bad and acne's a problem and we have autoimmune diseases. Our hormones are just getting destroyed.
Yeah. And look, there are more and more hormone related illnesses within our society today. And not just females either. Yes, we are seeing more PCOS, endometriosis, like you said, really bad periods, infertility.
And infertility
even
in males and females.
Well, that was what I was going to say next, but still touching on women is thyroid problems and what are they called, Tracy? Help me out.
I don't know what you're trying to say, Joe.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
There's a lot of problems that relate to hormones.
And then for our boys, so there is so much infertility issues within our men that it's actually at a really, really scary, alarming, fast rate of the decline in the quality of sperm. And you have to start thinking why. Why?
Let's get curious.
We have to. Yeah.
We owe it to our children to be so incredibly curious around this from the moment they're conceived. And talking from someone who now has much older children, there's definitely things that I wish I had never done in their lives to, contribute to maybe their health concerns going forward into mature age adults. And these hormone altering chemicals are one of them. Using Teflon, using, non-organic stuff, bathing them in fragranced products, because that's what got sent home from the hospital with me, the brands. I wish I had known all these things. I would have made so many different choices. But we can.
That's okay. We only know what we
can,
know.
right? We can make different choices moving forward. So, Joe, you mentioned a thyroid thing. So for anyone listening that probably is not aware yet, I'm very loud about it on social media. I've had a thyroid issue since I was 16. And again, if I knew things back then that I know now, I would have made, well, maybe not at 16, but I probably, hopefully, would have made different choices, or at least I would have understood. And I think that's the biggest thing that we can do with this episode, is try and get people to understand that you can make decisions and you can make choices and you can change your mind about things. I've certainly changed my mind about things, now that I've learned more, because like you said just before, Joe, we only know what we know. And I didn't know any of this back then. So
it was autoimmune disease. That was the word I was trying to pluck out of my brain.
It finally clicked in her head.
Finally. Yeah.
If I'd have known the array of hormone altering chemicals in any of my personal care products, fragrance, hand soaps, body washes, all the things that we could very easily DIY, and it saves us money. Like DIY has saved me so much money. I really think that my health would be very different.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. So we started Additive-Free with our food, and that was in 2013. And we'd been Additive-Free for a couple of years with our food, and we were still learning. So we weren't probably as, I don't really want to say that word perfect, because we're not today, but like we didn't know as much then as I know today. And we hadn't changed all of, like, our cleaning products, our body care products. We were really just food. And my daughter still had asthma. We were still in and out of the emergency department with her asthma. She was about 5 by now, and she was on a steroid preventer morning and night. And you had started DIYing when we started with our essential oils, which was nearly 8 years ago. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't have time for that. I've got a baby and a little one, and I don't have even the headspace to jump online and get a few DIY supplies like Castile soap, vinegar. I thought I needed all of this stuff, and you don't. You only need a couple of ingredients. But finally, I did jump online and I grabbed a little pack and I started to change out all the toxic stuff in my home. So I'm talking cleaning products. That was where I started. I eventually got rid of the candles, and I swapped them out for diffusing. And honestly, in what seemed like a really quick process, our whole house was really low tox. Like it was actually so much easier to change my cleaning products and things in and around my home than it was to change our food.
Absolutely. I
Like
agree.
so much easier. And what happened was her asthma completely cleared up. So we were really strict, especially with sulfites. And we've spoken about that in the podcast, and go back if you haven't had a listen to that episode, because sulfites is heavily linked to respiratory problems. Well, she was able to come off her steroid preventer morning and night. And that was by changing what we were using in and around the home. So I really encourage people to really just start. It's actually not hard. Like DIY is not hard. Our program, again, you can get 25% off. Use the code podcast 213, one word. And it's so easy. You just have to have the stuff in your home to be able to do it. Foaming hand wash takes 30 seconds. Toilet duck takes I reckon I could get it done in 15 seconds. Like the longest is like filling it up with water. Filling the bottle up with water. Like so easy. If you don't want to DIY and you're happy to spend a little bit more, we hands down use the doTERRA new clean range. It is super low tox. It's made in Australia. It smells really pretty. DIY smells pretty too, because you just put pretty smelling oils in there. And yeah, you don't have to DIY. Of course you don't. doTERRA have all these amazing low tox products, but I certainly, even though I do buy some stuff from doTERRA, I certainly still DIY other things as well, because it's more affordable for me to be able to do that.
Yeah, I would never not DIY my hand wash or body wash now. Like they're two things that they're just so fast to DIY, and they're so much cheaper than anything I would buy at the supermarket or wherever. And so much cheaper than any other low tox product that I have ever seen out there to DIY. To do it yourself is so much cheaper. So I love all of that. And I love what you said about how, you'd made sort of smaller changes and you'd done all your food or vast majority of your food, but this was sort of the next step, but it was so much simpler. And I completely agree. Like if someone said to me, where should I start? Like, I just want to lower my toxic load, not take away behavioral issues or anything with children. If they just said to me, I want to lower my toxic load, I would hands down say, start with DIY, because it's so simple, and then move on to the trickier things, which can be food and those types of stuff. Hands down, DIY.
100%. All right. Well, we're going to try and keep this episode a shorter episode, so we'll wrap it up there. But again, I just want you to head to the show notes, additivefreelifestyle.com/podcast 213. If you use the code podcast 213, you can get 25% off our DIY Made Easy program from 7 days from the time that this goes live. And we also have got a free teens and tween ebook as well, which the recipes in there are all for body care. And they're not just going to suit teens and tweens. These will suit adults as well. Like they're basically the same recipes. And so if you want to start DIYing not only your cleaning products, but also your body care, then check out that free PDF and we'll pop that in the show notes for you as well.
Absolutely. Please make sure you share this episode out with anybody that you know, and make sure you leave us a review. We find them really, really, really helpful. And like Joe said, just giving a few little DIY things a go will either A, change your life, or B, save you money, or see both. So, you know, it can really make a huge impact into your health, your wellness, your emotional stability, your skin, everything is just, you know, DIYing a few simple things. So give it a go, use our discount code, and we will catch you again next week. Thanks everyone for listening.